and thank you for active participation. I can always say we are here because you are there. If there are no participants, there is no point having a seminar. Okay, so we should be live now on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, please confirm whether you can see us on YouTube. And then if you are on Zoom platform, confirm whether you can hear us. If you can, please write yes on the chat box and write yes on the comment on YouTube. Okay, once again, I want to welcome you and appreciate God for this wonderful day. The very last episode 5 of our ASMN 3.0, which we have started about 5 weeks ago. It has been and there are many things unique about this ASMN 3.0. So I'm very grateful to God for his faithfulness and for helping us thus far. So we give him all the glory. It's been awesome, and all of our facilitators none have been disappointed. It's one of the episodes that have the highest number of guest facilitators, ranging from Beristuba, who was there for episode 4, and then now have Afolabi for episode 5. Then also had earlier Judith Annie on episode 2 and Romanus on episode 3. So well, I just want to the last one to appreciate all of them for their wonderful presentations. Those of us who have gone through it, we have observed that these guys have done more than anticipated. So thanks a lot. So, and then that takes us now to my opening remark. But today is the last day. It's always a day full of kind of emotions because it's difficult to say bye. But thankfully, we have formed a community of scholars. So it's not ending today, rather it is commencing today because the collaboration we anticipate commencing today. So I remain your host and the coordinator of ASMN African Scholars Mentorship Network, Osabuohien, and the privileged founding chair of DIaDeRC. So just by a way of remark, we started since on the 26th of May, and after each of the episodes, we put the exercises on to our community members to do it, and they recorded. And again, once again, unique about this episode is that immediately after each episode, the recorded session is live on YouTube. So normally you record it live on YouTube, as I've done before, and that we're doing again today. And we anticipate that everyone should endeavor to do exercises. It's one of the first prerequisites to qualify for certificates. And as at the time I checked today, about 67 persons have done exercise 1. Thanks to you guys. And for episode 2, which you had on the 2nd of June, about 57 persons have done the exercises. Thanks to you. And for episode 3, which on publication, we had about 50 persons have done it. Thanks to you. And episode 4, 40 persons have done it. Thanks to you as well. So one thing again is that it's not about the exercises. One is a good feedback mechanism. So the exercises are doing a lot of things for us. One is to give us feedback, and then 2, also decree that you have time to revise what you have learned and put to work. And then 3, if you look at the questions we put, you also help us to know the likely area we can now use, sort of the area of research we can use to cluster participants into different research collaboration, research theme or sub-teams. So you filling the forms are very important. First step, doing exercises for us to have your details, and then 2, for us to know which group to cluster you, and 3, for us to build a wonderful community that we can work together as we promote African scholarship. Yes, like I said earlier, episode 5 is always very loaded. So for a guide, I'm taking the very first one, which is welcome and opening remark. Shortly after this one, I will invite all of our team members to welcome or introduce our wonderful guest who's already in the house. Thanks to so much, Dr. Afolabi, Taiwo. We will present for 20 minutes, and then we'll take the first series of Q&A. And since this episode is networking and experience sharing, we'll take some experience sharing from some outings, and then we'll take testimonials from participants. And I'm also going to say here loud that we couldn't afford to take everybody who have written. There's no way we can just present almost 60 testimonials. We just select few ones for sake of time. Then we present certificates. So those who have qualified for certificates today, and I'll also talk on that later on, and I will present looking ahead and we conclude. Okay, so by way of reminder, by now this schema should be on our head. So it's a record. So one of the schema we started building on from ASMN 1.0 on the tripod interface between the mentor and the mentee. One thing remains close. What you're emphasizing is that honesty and integrity is always the foundation for any mentorship that we work. And then two, there's need for frequent and regular progress reports, evaluation reports, to benchmark to be sure that progress is being made, and where there are issues is being resolved to foster a healthy mentorship cycle. And lastly, that the mentee remain the captain of the flight, while the mentor is just the co-pilot. So if you have this tripod understanding, you're able to enjoy mentorship relationship, whether as a mentor or as a mentee. We actually wrote a paper on it with myself and one of my longest standing mentee, Dr. Karakara from the University of Cape Coast, Ghana, and it's free to download on ResearchGate and also on the internet. Again, these sort of pictures will should be on your mind by now. We've said it also since second episode, what we call a research impact pyramids, that wherever you are in any stage, you can start. Once you can read and write and you have done a number of research from your first degree, you can start what we call a knowledge consumption, and then that helps to adapt what I call a research adaptability to know which area you belong. And then you can move on to knowledge production. You begin to write your own articles, and then that can move it to what I call a research visibility, become visible. And then you can begin to moderate, whereby you begin to review other people's reports, other people's articles, serve as a reviewer. And then you can begin to enjoy what I call a research or academic stability and integrity. And then you move to what I call the area of knowledge stimulation. You're able to now bring out knowledge, what people should work on. Then you can begin to work towards what I call research or academic immortality. This is schema I just recall it, but now we should know it. Okay, just a quick recap before I now welcome our speaker for today. Thankfully, we last Thursday, some of us were at the CEPDA, Cover University Center for Economic Policy and Research, their annual body roundtable and panel discussion, which interestingly was established by me by privilege of God in 2018. It has run that series annually till now. Thankfully, we had the senior economic advisor to the president, Dr. Tokwe Fashua. These guys are very talented and insightful economist. And we had the Namdi from Commercial Partner. They will have JJ from Power Wise. They will have Faith Yoha, who represented the Dean of Management from Onateki University, Professor Soishola Oni, and this is me. And I was able to meet some of our DIaDeRC and ASMN members. These are most of these faces, you have seen them either virtually or somewhere on our website. And one thing, somebody asked a question again, that when you go to this meeting, how do you network? Do you ask for phone number? Do you ask for what I normally do? And as I did last Thursday, that this thing I learned when I was doing my PhD in Sweden, 2009. Attended the meeting, they were speaking Swedish, so that day I got angry and I said, I will never go to their meetings again. And as I was about to open my door, this word came to me: don't close your own doors when expecting open doors. So you go to these kind of meetings, what I do, or what I see, even this on Thursday, is another names. So what I do, just go to my research LinkedIn page and send them a message. Wow, it was nice meeting you today, and thanks for your contribution. And today at events, it was a pleasure. And in most cases, they will be willing to reply. So as they reply, because the thanks for replying, you can keep it there. Meanwhile, you're already connected. You're already in the network. So anytime you do a post on LinkedIn, they see it. And before that time, and as such, you're already fostered. So it helps to network. So whenever you ask them any favor again or any area of collaboration, then your name's already on their minds. So it's easier to respond. So these are one way to network. And I want to say here categorically, if you're on these platforms, started since 5 weeks ago, and you've not made up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 contacts on this network, hello, I can say you are wrong. We have a WhatsApp group, we have a Telegram group, we have all of that where we meet. So if we have not reached out to any person, up to 3 persons at least since for the past 5 weeks, who are your area of research, who you can collaborate after now with, you are wrong. It's not too late, so please learn from that. Remember, don't close your own doors when expecting open doors. So having said that, I want to end this open remark with this final call for ASMN Premium membership. This first phase will close on the 30th of June. And I must be sincere with those that after this first phase, the terms will change. The enter, because by this end of this month, we have a meeting with my team members. Normally, we do a review per quarter and also every quarter, and I know look what are the plans for next quarter. And this one is already also ending the first half of the year, so to meet and plan. And thanks to this lady who was always proud to represent, who was the very first to sign up. By the very first day we published it, she signed up. So if you're not there, I want to quickly just click on this link and join. It's quite simple. You can join from anywhere in the world. As long as you have a credit card. And have any question on it, please reach out, because after now we'll be collaborating more with those members on the ASMN Premier Group and a lot of benefits. So the door closes for this first phase by the 10th of June. So I want to encourage as many as can do that as you do. God bless you. So on that note, I want to end this welcome remark as I welcome my team member. Attach, please, over to you as we welcome this wonderful presenter, the guest presenter, Dr. Afolabi Taiwo. Over to you, Attach.
Thank you, Professor Evans, and a warm welcome to all our participants to this final episode of ASMN 3.0. Our guest facilitator for today is Dr. Taiwo Afolabi. He holds the Canada Research Chair in Socially Engaged Theatre, Director of Center for Socially Engaged Theatre, and an assistant professor at University of Regina. He is an artist, qualitative researcher, theatre manager, applied theatre practitioner, and educator with a decade of experience working across a variety of creative and community contexts in over a dozen countries across 4 continents. He researches, creates, works, performs, and teaches at the intersection of performance and human ecology. His research interests lie in the areas of applied theatre and policing, social justice, decolonization, art leadership and management, migration, and the ethics of conducting art-based research. Dr. Afolabi has co-edited 2 books and published articles in various books and reputable journals. He is a senior research associate at the University of Johannesburg, South Africa, and the founding artistic director of Theatre Emissary International. Ladies and gentlemen, with your clap emoji, help me welcome Dr. Taiwo Afolabi.
Okay, let's clap our hands and welcome him. So, Dr. Afolabi, you have the stage. Wonderfully, you're an artist. So, action.
But thank you so much, Professor Evans, for the invitation, and thank you to Professor Atat, for the introduction, and to all the team members at DIaDeRC. Deeply appreciate the opportunity to be sharing this space with you today. I'm going to share my screen quickly just so we can have something to. So again, thank you. Deeply appreciate the opportunity to be sharing this space, this virtual space with everyone, and really applaud what Professor Evans and the team are doing in Nigeria. It's a lot of work to bring people together, to create a space like this, to mentor and be mentored, and to share knowledge. Knowledge is power. So we deeply appreciate that. What I'm going to be talking about today is networking and experience sharing for career progression. And in terms of an outline, I'm going to share, I have 20 minutes. So I'm going to try to feed all of that into that. I always want to start from the place of value system, place of mindset, connecting to goal. And it's possible that some of these things you may have touched them at some point in this series or the previous series. And I'll share a little bit about my journey and then from there go on to speaking about networking opportunities and what we need to think about and look at. As I've been introduced, so my name is Taiwo Afolabi. I'm a Canada researcher in social language theater. I'm the founding director of Center for Social Language Theater at the University of Regina, and I'm an associate professor there. And I did my undergrad and some grad program in Nigeria, and I'll come to my journey at some point later in my presentation. But at the heart of all that I do is the idea of value. The question of the so what question is critical. Why are we doing what we're doing? I think that's very important, especially if you're within the academia and you want something purposeful and meaningful to drive you forward. My area is in art broadly, but really looking at performance and theater and art. And that can also come with its own reality. So that's where I always want to start, from the place of value. And these are some of the values that I kind of reflecting on wanting to share with you today. Some of those values that kind of that I try that guide my work. The first one, I'll start from the idea of purpose and mindset. I come from a family where the question of purpose and mindset becomes very critical. At the very early age, I was reading folks like Zig Ziglar, Norman Vincent Peale, different other writers like that, James Allen, and most importantly, the Bible. I think that's the source of all wisdom by the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. And so that had a way of really helping us develop some value system that are critical. So purpose and mindset become critical in terms of the values that kind of guide the work that we do. The next notion is relationality, and I'm not going to go into details of all of this, just give you a quick highlight. The world is full of transaction, and don't get me wrong, there can be transaction even in relationship. But I think that because we have that whole idea of wanting to get and take and get and take, there are times that we don't take step back to really build relationship and think of long term rather than short term. And so the piece around relationality, building really strong relationship is important. And when we talk about partnership, collaboration, mentorship, networking, and all of that, it's really, those are just ways of talking about relationship in different ways. And so relationality becomes critical value system that kind of guide us as we think about networking. Of course, our conversation today is about networking, right? Why do we want to network? What's our mindset towards networking? Because I think that's important. We're gonna meet some people that their value don't align with ours and different things like that. So it's really important to have a strong sense of who we are, our value system. The other things around care ethics, and for those I don't know, I imagine there are varieties of disciplines, on this call, or that will be looking at this recording at some point. It's a big area of research and theoretical underpinnings around care ethics. It came out of the feminist postulation. Care ethics is very critical because it really helps us to think critically about our humanness. It helps us to think about what does it mean to care for, to be given care, or to give care to other people. And ethics also is not just only in terms of morality, but also for me, it's also really what that, our conscience, our moral compass, and things like that. I do encourage folks to take a dive into care ethics, ethics of care, at some other, as we call it, because I think that's very important. Again, we have to think about what does it mean to take care of our spirit, to take care of our soul, to take care of our body, to take care of relationships. The next thing is around hard work. We can underemphasize that, and we can't overemphasize that hard work and smart work. The next thing is about growth. My own values that I wanting to grow more and more day by day. That means I'm reading, I'm engaging, developing as a professional, and things like that. And then finally, second to the last thing is around impact. Impact is very important. What kind of impact do you want to make in all the work you're doing? The last one, which is the most important one, for those, I don't know, the faith that are represented here, is godliness and then righteousness. And I think that for me, that's the basis of everything all, is that at the end of the day, we're here on this earth for a purpose. God has brought us here intentionally. And I think that he wants us, as much as we're striving to make heaven, which is what we believe in my own faith as a Christian, we have to make impact here on earth, right? So impact becomes one of those values, those driving force that are keeping me going. With that being said, I want to move on to goal setting, because as we go in the next few minutes, I'm going to be talking about networking and career progression and all of that. It's important to kind of set a goal, right? Because when we want to network, when we want to connect to other people, we have to ask ourselves some couple of questions. And I know that we're used to SWOT analysis. Of course, we think about the strength, we think about the weaknesses, what are the opportunities, what are the threats. We have to have a better understanding of ourselves first before connecting with other people. And at times also is that in the process of that engagement that we're able to have a clear understanding. So the question then would be, what's the goal, right? Professor Evan was giving an example when he was in Sweden, and they were speaking a different kind of language, and he almost shut the door. But what's the goal here? Like, don't close the door. And you want the door open, but don't close it, because the goal is to connect to people for a greater purpose. And I think that goal setting, I find SWOT analysis very interesting to kind of start thinking carefully and deeply into our goals. So if your goal is to become a professor, what does that mean? How do I get there? And what's my strength? What's my weaknesses? How can I amplify my strength? And what areas do I need to work on, and things like that? What opportunities are there for me? What thread do I need to take a look at? Because these things will help us as we think about networking. So quickly, my own journey, and I'm going to use that as a framework as I come to speaking about networking in a sec. So my own journey, I did my undergrad in Jos. I did my diploma in theater in Jos. I did my undergrad at University of Jos, and then I started my theater company, Theatre Emissary International. And to God's glory, we've worked in over a dozen countries across 5 continents today. And through that, able to bring in other folks to be mentored for career development and all of that. And then I did my master's at the University of Ilorin in Kwara State, Nigeria. And then after that, I moved, did my PhD in University of Victoria. The journey wasn't linear that way because I have a few minutes. I'm just giving just a touch note. And then after that, got into the academia and all that. But the reason why, why all of this? Why am I giving this story? I know I kind of just shorten it in a linear way. Right from the onset, the key question of why am I doing this became very critical. when I was doing my undergrad, I love the idea of doing research. I love, really writing and, really, at times even putting a play on stage, whether it's in church, whether it's in my school and all of that. But why, to what purpose? I realized that being an artist, writing and all of that, there's a kind of empathy that it builds in us for us to have the opportunity to step in another person's shoes, and be able to feel, not necessarily, we may not understand everything because we're not necessarily experiencing it, but then it's important for us to be able to build that empathy. And empathy is important to make a better place, a better world. And through empathy, we can advocate for other people where social justice come into play. We can talk about things that are not working that we want them to work. And so when I was in Nigeria, I was able to work on different Millennium Development Goals, and later on Sustainable Development Goals, issues that are critical to community, from issue of peace to issue of HIV/AIDS, community health, election, things like that. Because I wanted to use my art form. I wanted to use my ability to write, my ability to be able to build a play, to write a play, to direct a play, to work with people, to to mentor people and all of that. I wanted to use it to be able to build a stronger society, to build empathy, to advocate, to amplify voices that are on the margin, and different things like that. So because I wanted to do that, I also understood from the very onset the place of connecting to others. And this is where we're coming into the conversation around networking. Whatever you're trying to do, somebody did it before, some are still doing it, and some would still do it. Whether we're thinking in terms of micro, in terms of micro, in terms of macro, in terms of one or multiple. And so I started thinking from the onset, I started asking myself, what organizations, what association, what networks, what nodes and modes of connections are existing or have existed or existing that are doing the kind of things that I wanted to do? Because that was very important. I want to put a play on stage about HIV/AIDS. Okay, that's a great idea. But then how do I put that on stage that it can become impactful, that they can get to people that they need to see it? And because my own background, again, if you're from theater or you're from community organizing and all that, you understand the place of network and networking. Because you can't get the job done all by yourself. You have to connect to people here and there, that can help you. So, which then brings me to networking and career progression. So that's why I started from, just a recap, I started from the idea of what's the goal, right? What's the value system rather guiding the things you want to do? And then I move on to what is that thing you really want to do? Why do you want to do it? Because that's important. And understand that whatever, once you be able to articulate what you want to do, then who are those existing folks that can, opportunities, individuals, organizations, and all of that are doing what you want to do. Okay, so for me, networking is everything. We've heard over and over again when folks say that your network work determines your net worth. I think it's important, and I'm not speaking network in the transactional sense, because we live in a very capitalist society that everything is about grab it and go. And I try as much as possible. Why that is important, we have to face it, but also to say, is it possible for us to build a relationship out of this, right? And that's why I love what, DIaDeRC and Professor Evans are doing, is that, yes, as much as we're trying to bring this knowledge, together and all of that, you're building a community. And I think that's critical, because the journey is long. And it's not just one-off. We need individuals, we need networks that can help us. So for me, what it is about networking that makes it very critical is that it helps us to be able to not just only connect to other people, not just only help us to develop and grow, not just only help us to be able to find opportunities, but also help us to contribute. It's a two-way stream, right? A lot of the time, we need to understand that I go for a conference and I want to meet people, or I subscribe to newsletters, or I go to, to a fundraiser, to a community event, I read a paper, I reach out to people and all of that. Those are just various ways to make connections and to get into different networks. Ultimately, we're contributing to an ecosystem. And so we then have to determine what kind of ecosystem do we are we contributing to? And what, through our contribution, what can change in that ecosystem? I, at the moment, where I am is in the, we'll call it the West. It's in North America, in Canada, and particularly in the West, the idea of academia, and maybe it's also in Africa and Nigeria, can be quite tedious, can be quite interesting. And I'm using that word interesting, not in the sense that, you know, it's exciting and fun. Yes, it can be, but also to understand that there are complexities and nuances. And so by contributing to a network, by contributing to a net of, you know, a net of multiple works, we're creating something here. We're contributing to something here. But also, we're also contributing and developing our career, right? So, and I know, again, depending on where we're at in our lives, or rather, regardless of where we're at in our career, we all want to grow. We all want more opportunities. Some people want to, whether we want more opportunities in terms of getting or giving, we need networking. We need network, rather. We need to connect to people. We need to understand the art and the act of networking. And I think that's why this is really important, right? If I organize a conference because I want people to come together to meet and all of that, that I can't attend that conference all by myself, which means that I need to find a way to bring people into that conference as an opportunity for them to be able to meet other people. I need a huge sense of social capital, large relationship to make that conference work. But also, if I am going for a scholarship or going for funding opportunities and all of that, yes, I want to take from that, but also I can't do that effectively without connecting to those opportunities that are existing. So my point here is that whether you are taking an opportunity or you are creating one, because some of us will get to that point where we'll start creating opportunities for other people, just like this opportunity that is here that we're all having this community and communicating together. That's an opportunity. We all need network. We all need networks, and we all need continually network wherever stage of our career we find ourselves. So with all of that being said, what are ways to do this networking, right? And how can we do it? I just listed some things to consider, some ways that we can do networking. I find conferencing very important. I started going to conference as early as when I was in my 300 level slash 400 level. I remember my first conference that I went to back in Nigeria. The convener of that conference did not believe that I was an undergrad student. They literally had to ask for my ID card because they thought that they were like, didn't any of my professor write my paper for me? Wow, what you in what level? It was a sense of surprise. But at that conference, I was able to connect, meet people, ask questions, because as you're just starting out, you have so many questions to ask. And so anything about conference, and I'm just putting conference there as just a representation of network, seminars, things that bringing people, scholarly folks together in our field, in your field. It's a way to connect to people. It's a place to listen. It's a place to be able to, to be able to meet people. I find those connections, those conferences, associations, as a place to be able to meet people that in your own world you may not be able to meet with them, but something like that bring everybody together. So conferences, association meetings, community meetings, seminars, all those kind of things. The other thing also, way to kind of connect also is by scholarly outlets, and by scholarly outlets I'm talking about publishing, I'm talking about associations and all of that. Because when I send my paper out, for example, to publish, the editor of the journal would walk through my paper and then send it to, peer review. Now, some people do peer review, some people blind peer review, some do open peer review, depending on what area you are situated. But the fact that I've connected to the lead editor of that journal or the person in that journal, that's connection right there. And that in my again, my own field has opened up more opportunities for me where somebody says, oh, I read your paper, I read your work, I review and all of that. We're thinking of something. Do you mind doing this? And I find that really, really very, very, very fascinating, because when people start seeing your work and it's getting out there and all of that. The last thing I did right here in terms of networking is around documentation, and by documentation, I'm speaking broadly around really putting yourself out there in terms of your work, whether it's by podcast, it's by blog and scholarly writings and different things like that. I'm also thinking in terms of a scholarly outlet, I'm also thinking of Google Scholar, ResearchGate, all of those things where it gives your work and it gives you a deep sense of visibility and an opportunity to connect to other people. Working groups, networks, these are things to constantly think about and connect to them. While all of these are important, I've identified some of them, but I want to focus on the career progression because that's also the title of this part of the title of this quick conversation today. Career progression is critical because it is important because we have to plan our career. We have to have a sense of direction. We have to have sort of like a compass that's going to guide us. Because you're doing a master's or PhD, we have to know what do you want to use it for. Is it that you want to be in academia or you want to be in the industry? If you want to be in the industry, what kind of thing do you want to do? Like, it helps us to plan A, B, C, D. And I think in many of our grad programs, and I'm privy to some numbers of them across the world, this is something that we really talk about. How do you plan your career? How do you plan to move from point A to point B? So as a grad student, what are the things you need to do to move on to be to the entry level of a lecturer or an assistant professor if you're in North America, tenure track and all of that. And then once you move in, okay, then how do you plan in that you get tenured if you're in North America? I know that in Nigeria, once you're hired, you're basically hired. You don't have to be doing tenure and all of that. And then if you want to move, you find yourself that you're in the academia, you're in the research. What do you need to do to intensify your research? Maybe you have a research chair. There are things you want, that you need to have to be able to take on. You're interested in being a researcher, for example, or you want to go into administration and different things like that. So career progression is very, very important. And that means that we have to think about it from both the short-term goals and the long-term goal, which going back to where I started from. So I want to bring all of this together. So as I move on to kind of the question and answer, and I'm checking my time here. I'll use my own story to kind of wrap it up. And my story is just one out of multiple. And so I just want to say that my story is just my own experience. Right from my undergrad, I really loved the idea of being in the academia, like I said from the onset. And I was asking myself, what are the things that I needed to do? And I, based on my performance in class and my readings and all of that, I got closer to one or two of my professors back then who I would say they were like my niche mentors, who I was able to ask them questions or at times just kind of observe how they were trying to publish, how they were trying to do different things and all of that. And I was asking a lot of questions. I remember my final year, one of my professors then, my mentors then, basically gave me a book. He said, read this book and go do a book review and give it back to me. And I'm like, oh, okay. I never heard about what a book review was, or how to do a book review rather. I've heard about what book review is, but how to do it, I've never done it before. So I took the book, read it, and of course, I ended up doing the book review. There are times also he'll, give me his article to read before he submitted it and different things like that. And those things started helping me to start connecting to different opportunities. So I applied for conferences, sending abstracts. Some of them were rejected, some of them were accepted. I'll send out papers, and that was how I started gradually. And in my final year, I had the opportunity to travel out of the country for a World Congress in my field. And that opportunity opened my eyes to see what's possible. I was able to meet, scholars and practitioners all over the world from over 57 countries or more. It was amazing, because I was asking myself, what organization can I connect to in my field that would help me to be able to build and develop myself and grow and all of that. And that was actually the beginning. I was able to, and I came back to Nigeria. I started my theater company, and based on those those connections that I've made out of that World Congress, I started connecting to them after the Congress, reaching out to them. I took interest in their work. Some of, later on, I would end up taking place to different places across the world with my theater company. I ended up creating different shows and things like that. But because I knew that I was interested I was also interested in the academia, I was writing about them. I was doing my research alongside that. And then things started growing gradually, gradually, gradually. I joined a lot of newsletters to get information. I joined different associations, and I took on responsibility. I don't just go there and just warm chair and leave. I'll take on responsibility, because those are the things that help us to connect to people. Service is important, right? So I connected to them, to different individuals. And from there, I started building my capacity. But beyond that, I started building my circle of network. I started, I know this person knows this person. Oh, I love what you're doing. Have you heard of this person in the US? I'm like, no. Well, I'm happy to do an introduction. And they do an introduction, and then before you know it, you start making those connections, and then you keep doing what you're doing. And then from there, the rest is history. So what I've been saying in the past 20 minutes or so is that we need to start from the place of understanding why we want to do what we want to do. What are the value system connecting us, that is driving us to even make these connections in the first place? And then from there, we move on to um, um, understanding how our field works, and start creating intentional networks, connecting intentionally. At times you can set code emails and things like that, but think not just only in terms of mass, but also in terms of individual. Because at the end of the day, you have 100 people who come for a show or for a conference. You won't be able to connect to all of them, but maybe one or two persons or three, and that's going to make the remarkable difference that you want. I will leave it at that, because I want to have space for question and answer. And if you want me to shed more light on things, I'll be happy to. And then I'll pass it back to Professor Evans. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. You can clap your hands. Like I was saying, educally, spiritual hands, physical hands, virtual hands. Let's make it so. Wow, thanks a lot for the experience sharing, and it was quite practical. And I'm not surprised, as an artist, you were both acting and presenting at the same time. Thanks a lot. So, guys, we heard from the experts. I remember, but one thing that stood for me was the very early, very, very early in the undergrad. I think that's also like my own similar case. So at the third year that I discovered that I have passion for academia, because I was in a conference organized then in my university, Ambrose University in Ekpoma, Edo State. And I could see that in that you can ask anybody question, nobody will say shut up.
Yeah.
I said, wow, this I like that.
I like
So
that.
good, when in class you can ask, say, please shut up. But in conferences, when somebody asks a question, you can't say shut up. You must have the question.
That's right.
I said, okay, well, I like this kind of interface. And that was how I discovered my passion. And as I kept academia right after my NYC, it was easy to just join out. There was no point wasting time. And the issue of networking also matters, issue of mentorship matters. That's one thing again I also enjoyed, which is why we established that they can also establish ASMN, African Scholars Mentorship Network. It's one thing I enjoyed, and I found that it's not very common in Africa. So that was a nature of feeling. Because that helped me I joined academia August 2004. And by December 2017, I was already a professor. So someone will say, how? So one of the secrets is mentorship. I knew where I was going to, I knew how to get there, and it was easy to take steps, career progression. That's a lot. And somebody's hand is already raised. Taiwo Marcos, you want to raise your hand? Or you can put it on chat on the Zoom platform, or comment on the YouTube platform. Let's take them Thanks a lot. So if you want to say it, maybe it's born in your heart, you can raise your hand and we can welcome you. I saw one hand before. Taiwo Marcos, are you? Team members, please check the comment section or the question. Okay, this is mind blowing. Thanks so much. Thank you a lot.
Hello.
Yeah, okay, there are more comments. If there are questions we're now in the first Q&A. You have comments. Yes, Ibukunluwa Kirinde, all the way from is it Northwest University, South Africa? Please, over to you. You can unmute and then ask your question, please.
Yeah, thank you very much.
If you can speak louder, please, great.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Afolabi or Dr. Afolabi. Thanks for the session. I joined halfway, but I got the trust. I am running my PhD and almost through, but I really have passion for the industry because I was there before I came. And combining it with academics, yes, I do like academics because in my NYC I wrote papers and I presented in international conference. But I'm wondering the balance because I prefer something like an adjunct professor, being in the industry, doing something with the academia. How do you advise me to navigate this? Because those opportunities for adjunct professorship or visiting professorships, they are not so popular. I need them. I really want them. I want to be in the industry. Like in South Africa, there's extraordinary professorship. They are not really core academic people. And you can rise from extraordinary lecturer to extraordinary visitor till professorship. I want to achieve that. Then also I am looking at the prospects of going to the Western world. Here in South Africa, penetrating there, I see a lot of when you are filling out applications, do you have work permit, all of these things. And immediately I see it as a screener question. And I still know that they sponsor people to come over when they. So do you have wisdoms for me to navigate this and find what I want? Thank you.
Okay, I think it's simple as how do you want to be academia, also want to be the industry, how do you
Navigate that?
And also, the other one is like what they call jackpot here, but I don't support that a lot. It's like how you can make contribution to the world. You don't have to be in America to make contribution to America in America. So I think I've seen us from your scholarly publication, from your. So over to you, sir. There are many others that will read out.
So yes, I'll try and address both of them. So to start from the first question, the beautiful thing is that where the world is right now, a lot of universities actually want professors who have industry experience because we're tired of theory. It's not helping us. And maybe I'm speaking about my field. Like I said, I'm in art broadly. When I have somebody who is in the industry, who is a practitioner, come to class, there is something about what they teach that gives students that practical knowledge of what they need. And so my recommendation is that as you build your research profile, also start thinking, when you say industry, what are those things? How can you package your work that is relevant to the industry, to your industry? So I'll give an example. There's some industry that, when you write a policy document and they see that, it helps them to think. So if you're, for example, you work with the government and you're in the policy area and all of that, they need a policy. They need someone that can help them think through things, analyze policy, give them recommendation and all of that. So think about what in your industry, in your own industry, that is relevant to that particular place. All right. And then take your work there. So for me, my work sits at the intersection of both practice and theory. So, which means that in my own work, I do work with theater companies, performing art companies, organizations. I work with service organization. So I consult for them. I do different things for them, which means that I'm not just only an academia that sits in the classroom, but I've been able to take my work and dissect it for them to understand and say, oh, this work, what this guy is doing here is relevant for us here. So for me, I always tell researchers, especially if you're interested in working in industry, is to say, how can you, it's about knowledge transfer. It's about knowing how to mobilize knowledge and transfer it to where it's needed. So that's my recommendation. And then from there, also go to their events, right? If in your industry, I know those that are, again, depend on the industry you find yourself, they'll be organizing. There's some industry that actually do their own, they do their yearly conference, not academic conference, it's actually industry-based conference. There's some that do community community events. So find those, they do have that already to connect to them. Now, the piece about the other side of the university, which you want to be an extraordinary professor and all of that. Well, many universities see is that once they start seeing you making those strides, to make a case over there becomes easy. But if I don't see your impact, I don't see your work, and you want to become it's like, okay, so I'll give an example. So I'm a senior research associate, I think that's what they call it, at University of Johannesburg in South Africa. And one of the reasons, when one of my colleagues that actually that got used to bring that opportunity, when they saw my publication and all of that, and then they made a case for me in that university, it was like, oh, some of the things, I mean, I'm attached to Department of Sociology. It's like some of the things that this guy is writing about, they are sociological issues, but it is writing about it and working about it from the context of the art. So I started from research associate, and now I'm a senior research associate and all of that. And right now I'm in the UK because I'm a visiting researcher at the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama, University of London. So those opportunities will come. But I always say, don't chase those opportunities. It's always, they will come if you have the right thing. No university, my research center, for example, somebody that does not, I run a research center, somebody that doesn't have what is going to help us to move our work ahead, that does not have those connections, I'm not going to ask them to come and be a researcher in my center. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. But once you start seeing what you're doing, your product and all of that, then you start making, in fact, you start making connection. You start getting connected to people that can then even recommend you. Because some of these things actually come out of recommendation. But the first thing is to start building and start connecting your work to the industry. Let your work speak to the industry. Don't write theoretically where your industry will not understand. Again, I'm saying industry, I don't know the specific industry that you are. So it's important to start transferring that knowledge in that way. Even at times you can choose to volunteer there. You can choose to be on their board. Some places, there are different ways to get in that way. Because some people just want to start from give me job. There are times I know it doesn't work that way. There are times that you just need to volunteer. Then again, I'm speaking from a different context, possibly, but those are ways to get in. Which then connect to the second question around going to other places. I am my own, and that's why I started from value system. My own place first is the place of being where God would have me be. For those that are not on the call, that you're not a Christian, I don't mean to, please, I don't mean in any way to say other, to berate you. For me, having that sense of guidance by the Holy Spirit has been very critical to my own journey. I can imagine, same with Professor Evan. You can't just take that out of my life. And so I would say carefully reflect, carefully think about your journey. How are you being led and things like that? Because it's not everybody that will have to go to, you're where you are, if that's where you are meant to be, you keep doing what you're doing, and then opportunity will come. And also, you don't have to be in the US before you make impact in the US. So 2 things coming out for me, just to respond to you, be one, ensure that you are where you're meant to be, rather than chasing things, be there. Secondly, is that think of impact globally, rather than thinking of impact as having to be in one particular place. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. That's another lecture entirely.
Yeah.
It's about I don't know what it's about your value system. That's
Yeah.
good. Impact, goal setting, all that. It's what gives you joy. It's not about being anywhere. Otherwise, there was no after my PhD in Sweden, there was like a stay back here. I said, no, I don't belong here. After that, I want to get back and get to Germany with my family. I will stay back here for you. What do you want again? But I want to be where I can have peace and touch lives, and there's no regrets. I think it's been awesome. Okay, team members, there are more comments on the.
Yeah, there are questions here. Do you just want me to take it? I can just read and take it if that's okay.
Oh, great. Go ahead, sir.
So there's a question from Taiwo Afolabi here. Could you recommend Scopus journals where someone can come publish within few months? Thanks for that question. So I would say
let me say that one we took. Actually, our episode 3 was on that publishing. So please, I would recommend you go through that episode 3 recorded session. Is live on YouTube. I think because Romanus took us journey, but it was practical session. How you can the link there, how you can cross check. So I can look at the journal, how that. And as I want to add again that don't be too worried about the timing. It's better to plan ahead of times. Someone will say, do for promotion next month. Please, where can I publish? No. It doesn't work that way. There's already time and harvest. You plant early so you can harvest. So please go to that. Go to that. Maybe you're not around. Go to that session, episode 3 on our YouTube channel. It will help us about 1 hour. The whole of that session was on that. Thanks.
Absolutely. And I've told Prof, I run a research academy for 3 months, some 1 or 2 years ago. And that's the same thing I said is at the end of the day, this hurry doesn't work, especially in where I'm coming from in our part of the world. Publishing can take 6 months, 1 year, because we don't pay for publishing.
3 years, some 3 years, yeah.
We don't pay for publishing, which means that the quality of your publication has to be on the top game. So please, like Prof said, please go back to that particular resource that has been shared. I'll move on to the next question. Please, sir, I have spent some time in the industry and I've just transited into the research field. Although my interest is still in the academia, what advice do you have for me as I have little experience in research, especially econometric analysis, where is needed for any field economics? I am not in economics. I would defer to Prof to talk about econometrics, but I'll tell you what is overarching skills that you need. Many times when you're coming from the industry, there's always the fear that, oh, I don't know research. You actually do. The only thing is just that your process of engaging has not necessarily been how it's been framed within the academia. So it just what you do all the time in your day-to-day job. What we do basically in the academia is to take that and put that within the framework of research. So take a step back. What were the jobs? What were the projects that you've done in the past? And then bring it back to the academia. What were the research questions? What were the conceptual framework? What was the methodology? What was the knowledge mobilization strategy? What was the, all of those questions that we ask ourselves? What's the problem, and all of that? In industry, it's very interesting because I say we here because as artists and especially artists coming to the academia, this is also the struggle. It's like, oh, I don't know this research. I'm like, you're actually doing this already. It's just that you don't have the language. To develop the language will take time. It is what it is. But don't worry, keep doing it. But you actually have what it is. It's just for you to then do your readings, do your literature review, keep doing all of that. Over time, you will develop the language, but the skill set of doing the research itself, you have that. If you don't have that, you're not going to survive in the industry. That's the truth. So that's the general, and this works across different fields. In terms of econometrics, I'll pass it to Professor Evan because it's not my area, maybe to speak to that. But I would say you have to just get into it and do it. But I'll pass it to Professor Evan because I don't want to speak.
Just thanks a lot. Just to add to that. Yeah, coming from industry, you're already doing something. I'll just give you a quick comment on that. When I was HOD, I had 2 of my PhD students. One was in the banking sector. He was head of treasury in one of the banks, commercial banks in Nigeria. Another one was working with Dangote cement. And I told them, if you want to make progress, since you're already in the industry, you have the ideas. Link your research to what you are doing.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, when you enjoy it, you talk with authority. And thankfully, one of them worked on the treasury. He was head of treasury in his bank, looking at treasury being both the private and the public quotes. And within a short time, he was able to finish his. When he talked about his results, you could see the passion
Yeah.
You could see the depth of knowledge because it's already have the experience just to translate that language to set language. And that one was on level symmetry. Dangote Cement. He was looking about the issue of a subsidy in the cement industry, and again, he was able to translate that knowledge to research and able to finish your time. Much more so, you see the depth again. So whatever you are doing, use to translate what you are doing to what's the research you are working on. And the next area of issue of collaboratories is you can't learn it in one day, but basically there are several tools out there on YouTube that you can watch. And secondly, is also issue of you must not research like a feed of it's like an ocean. You swim with team. It's like so issue of collaboration which this network provides, our SMN provide. You can, if you are very good in experiential knowledge, you can work with those who are good in methodology and you collaborate. Before you know it, you are learning the process and that you are making efforts. So issue of collaboration is one, and the issue of drawing from your experience to what you are doing is another one.
Yeah.
That was so there. Thanks a lot. There's another one. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So I would say, yeah, absolutely. So transfer, find a way to connect your research to the industry, find a way, the language so that you can make your research again, transfer those knowledge back and forth, and it's going to situate you in a very good place. I'll move on to the next question, if that's okay. There's a question here. Thanks, Prof, for that insight. Have you had any mentors and how did they influence your career? How can one find a good mentor? Good question. I think mentorship is critical, extremely critical, extremely critical. And I'm a mentor myself to so many people, especially where I find myself that I'm the only person that look like this, which means I have to be able to develop, to build and pour myself into people that look like me so that they can have the, when you're in Nigeria or other places, it's a different kind of battle you have to fight. So I just put it that way. I have, from me personally, I've really benefited from a lot of distant mentors, and people that, whether it's from reading them or from having one-on-one meeting with them and things like that. Those that also been my mentors over the years have been those that are that were like my, supervisor during my program, really having time to chat with them. Also industry, I've been able to, I have a way of being able to spot one or two, and at times, and I don't think I've really necessarily had any formal mentorship where we sit down and say, you're going to be my mentor, I'm going to be a mentee and all of that. Again, that's the point for me, it's relationship. So we've developed relationship over the years, whether I write with them or, I attend their class or I read their work, or they're able to say, hey, yeah, I'm happy to talk for an hour and different things like that. And that has really, really been very useful for me. And that's also what I've tried to mirror to other people. I just mentioned, for example, one of my professors when I was doing my undergrad, who was, I'll consider him as my mentor, right? He saw that, and he brought me closer, right? He gave me something, go read this, or read this paper for me. Let me think of what you think, and all of that. And then I did my master's. My supervisor was fantastic, sat down, walk us through things and all of that. And then for me, I just basically just pick up from there, just, and all of that. In terms of how do you get a good mentor? I love the idea of really building relationship. Just to be honest, it's going back to relationship for me, because we've seen where monsters have become monsters, and we've also seen good mentors. And I think that because I don't like the idea of just being transactional, I think that if we see somebody that we love, I tell my grad students, one of the stand there and just say, I am your mentor, but you don't know the paper I'm working on. You don't, the way to be a good to be able to connect to someone that can mentor you is to take interest in their work, to learn together, to learn with them and all of that. And that means be ready to work with them, right? So How do I identify good mentors? You know, I look into their work. I also look at their value system, and I always want to emphasize this, particularly for the females among us, because I've met those who have become victims of mentors who quote and unquote mentors. Value system becomes critical, and then look at their work and things like that. So the way to answer your question is that, you know, take a look at their work, see what's the alignment. Why do you want them to be your mentor? Why do you prefer them over there? That some mentors, some people actually choose, right? And we also know that mentorship is both ways. I learn from my mentee learn from me. I learn from my mentor learn from me, right? So I would say those are ways to take a look at it. And I think these days people are very generous, to be honest. You can send cold email to a professor who you really have interest in their work, and they will be happy to to chat with you. Because for me, at times, mentorship it's not all mentorship that will be like you're meeting yourself 10 years. And I know somebody now that I consider him as a mentor. If I want to talk to them, I can just say, hey, I'd love to chat with you for an hour. And I chat with them. And I may not talk to them again another 3 months. I check on them once in a while, hey, how you doing and all of that, and vice versa. So there are multiple models of mentorship. Again, I'm happy with the work that Professor Evan is doing. I think that he's creating a platform for people to be able to find good mentors, to know how to identify good mentors, and to know how to be good mentees and be good mentors. I do hope that I answered that question.
Yeah, you did that a lot. Now again, for you to get a good mentor, be a good mentee.
Yeah.
That's the first. I tell my mentee that because no mentor plays with a value-adding mentee. So once you are come to the point of value addition, what are you bringing to the table? And if you are not come to the point of taking, you come with the mindset, I want to help you out. And every mentor will be willing to help you to lead you to their work. That's about one more or
yeah, there's one more. There's a question here. It seems it's easier to navigate from industry to academia than vice versa. Those who are strictly into academia on the disadvantage, does this act as a wake-up call to feed into both? I want to answer this question with a caution. I don't want to say those that are in academia they are disadvantaged, no. But there are some fields that lend themselves to industry. That's the reality. And so I can speak about my field. Recently, we find a lot of artists are interested in doing their work, creating their work, but also writing about their work. They're saying, we don't want people to write on our behalf again. We want to be able to have the language to write about our work. So it depends on the field you find yourself. I don't think anyone is at any disadvantage, in my humble opinion. I think it boils down to what do you want to do. You can still be in the academia 100% and still make the impact you want to make. But the kind of impact that I want to make, I know that I want to be in the academia and be able to raise and nurture and mentor, young, leaders and and academics and all of that. But I also want to be in the industry because I want my work to be relevant. So it boils down to what do you want to do, and then that will help you to position yourself. I don't think anybody's at any disadvantage, in my opinion. So it boils down to what do you want to do? What do you find yourself doing? Why do you want to do, again, going back to that goal setting and all of that, and then you can position yourself in that way. I also feel that as we keep growing in our work, in our area, and we're building expertise, I feel, and again, Professor Evan can speak to this, I think that as you keep growing, you realize that the industry really need some of your expertise. So it's always about that growth progression too, and somebody that is somebody that is in their undergrad may not necessarily have much to offer industry, but they continue in that. They do a PhD. They've been able to supervise PhD students, master students. They've been in different committees. They've been on different working groups and all of that. Then they've built expertise that then all of a sudden they can be called upon to say, hey, we need your expertise here. And so if we check it, for example, like, and I can, a lot of our, chief medical, minister of health, education, and all of that in many industry, we realized that they actually came from the classroom. They came from the academia because they've built expertise over the years. So in my opinion, again, I think that as we keep growing, we realize that when we submit our knowledge together, it can actually benefit the industry significantly. I'll leave it that way. So depending on where you find yourself, the question again is, where do you see yourself making impact? If you want to position yourself in both ways, why not? And some people, they're just okay with just writing what they're doing and they're fine. I mean, I'm fine. I mean, Noam Chomsky, many other, Michel Foucault, many folks that we know, and then I'm speaking of, those within humanities and social sciences. They are theoreticians, right? But their work have become so impactful today. Frantz Fanon and all of those, their work become impactful today because they were able to, philosophers, they've thought through things and all that. So where do you want to make impact? I think that's the key question. And how do you position yourself to make that happen?
Okay, well said. Where you want to make impact and how do you get yourself positioned for the impact? I think we are taking two things at the same time. We're taking the first Q&A and second Q&A. It takes a lot.
Yeah.
So if there's still time, we'll come back to some more questions. Yeah. I will now call on my team member Tad as we go to the next assignment, which is testimonials from team members. I want to add here that we got well over tons and tons of testimonials. Thanks a lot for the comment. I know that there's no way we could take all of them, so just a few of them. In case we didn't call your name, please don't be angry. Just a few was just random selection. But this will come after this call. We'll be having a blog post on our website where we showcase them comprehensively. So please, we'll just take a few of them. So Atad, over to you to take on the testimonials from some participants at ASMN 3.0. Over to you, sir.
Hey, take your phone now. Take your phone.
One minute is getting set for that. You can hear screen on your set. You can see it. Let me take one or two comments. Okay, why is this? I want to take the other point, which is looking ahead. We'll come back to that testimonial shortly, and certificates. If you can see my screen again, please confirm. Confirm. Yeah, can you see my screen, please? Write yes on the chat if you're on WhatsApp. So WhatsApp, or if you're on the Zoom, or yes on the if you are on the YouTube. Okay. So while we're waiting for that to take the testimonials, quickly go to the first part of looking ahead. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I already said thanks a lot to all our partners and facilitators. Thanks a lot to Barry Stopa, who took us episode 4. Thanks to Afolabi, who took us, who is taking us now. Thanks a lot for bringing the artistic ingenuity into this presentation. Thanks a lot so much. Judith was there with us episode 2 as a guest. Romanus was there for episode 3. Thanks a lot. And for other team members, you know that what we are saying that there are many, many persons behind the scene. With me here in this room, we are about 4 of us. So you can imagine. So it's not only Professor Evans. There are a number of us. Some of the right far away in Malaysia working with us. So we go to our website, see that we are close to 18 team members.
This is the cover of my Bible now.
That's a lot.
I beg, get me put it.
Okay, if you're not talking, please mute yourself, please. Okay. I'll meet all again now. All right, thanks a lot. Thanks and much more so to all of our participants. You were so wonderful right from the very first episode. We are here because you are there. There's no point you can be here if you are not there. Thanks a lot for your active engagement. We appreciate you so much. Now, looking ahead, one, there are many things ahead. One is that from the form that we will fill at the point of registration, we looked at it thoroughly. Out of the 249 persons that are registered, we're able to look at the various areas of interest, and these are the ones we came up with about 9 different clusters, number 10, education services, health science and medical, related discipline, environment and energy, agri and food security, business and management, engineering and technology, policy and international relations affairs, trade and economics, art and humanities, that we have, and social science. So basically, from next quarter, we'll be reaching out to us, much more so those in our ASMN Premium Group, to look at the cluster, and we assign cluster heads from our direct team members, and also within our participants, we also have a sub-team lead, so we can begin to collaborate, and which is what we are here. Like I say, we're already forming the video community, and let's work together to do that. Then secondly, that some of you remember this guy, one of my mentees at the University of Chicago, US, who is working on a project together. We're looking at the causes and implication of the Pentecostal movement in Nigeria. So this picture what we took when we visited in Nigeria. I go to my university 4 times. I hosted him. We went to this ARC project. I'm head of the ARC project. We're going to be the largest church building in the world, about 110 city capacity, which is undergoing construction. And he will be giving a seminar. He'll be coming to Nigeria again. We hosted him in July. So we created a kind of a primary finding from his research, from that research collaboration. So make the dates, book it in your calendar. 15th of July. We'll put in on the details on our website, and then you can show. So the timing will be around 2 p.m. Nigeria time. It's 15th of July 2024. So that's one event that will happen. There are others are ahead. Like we say again, keep the fire burning and always check our websites. I will just take us through now. If you go to our website, just simple, DIaDeRC.org. So you click our website, I will just show us. Please follow me as I move on, and I want to be sure you are following me. So this is our website, this is our homepage. So to get quick update, you just click events. So on event, it will tell you the event we have lined up. So for example, this one is ending today. So you click event, and when you click each of the events, you see the details. So this is one way to keep update with us. You just click on DIaDeRC.org, go to events. Another one again is second is go to news. News will tell us what is happening, bit of reporting and others. So you go to news, it will give us our current news, and you click on the details there to help you. And if you want to be specific, under news, you have both blog posts, you have a research news. So you can check out that. And then right there up here, you have all of our social media handles are here. Here is Facebook. So if you click on this one, to just take you straight to our Facebook. Click on this Twitter, now X, Twitter page. Click on this one, take you to our Instagram page. Click on the LinkedIn page to take you there. Click on the YouTube, take you there. It's both on top here and also at the bottom. You also get this our social media handles. And I want to mention here categorically, if you're on this call, that we'll join us later, you're not following us any of our social media handles, you are wrong. Because as a center, every week there must be something going out for us. Because we have who ask us so many questions. So what we do, when we get such questions, we create a short video clip on it. For example, issue of mentorship has been asked today several times. How do I make a progress as a student on PhD? So there's a short clip on that. Someone normally asks me, how do I get idea for research? We do a clip on that. Currently, we have close to 50 videos on YouTube, and they're all for free. So if you just click on this page, you take to our page. So you can subscribe, you can follow us, so you can get updates or notification when we have a new thing coming. So these are one way to keep the fire burning through that. Okay, I'll go back to my slide. Okay, are you please? I want to be sure that I'm back on my slide. So you see our LinkedIn pages there, DIaDeRC Center, DIaDeRC.center, DIaDeRC.center for Twitter, DIaDeRC.center. So everything with DIaDeRC, and our website is this. This is our YouTube page. And our email is DIaDeRC.center@gmail.com or info@diadeRC.org. Simple. So always check on our social media handles to get updates. And we have respective groups on our ASMN 3.0 checkup. I know we are very busy, so you can make it a date that either once in 2 days you check on the WhatsApp group or Telegram group, and then once in a week you check on our website and also on our social media handles. You want to get something that is happening. That's how to keep track of what is happening. Okay. So I want to now pause what I call on a touch to give us a testimonial. After that, we now go to certificate presentation. We are gradually going to the end of today's session. Okay, we are making progress. And so Atat, over to you, sir. Just said. Let me just share this now. Wait again. Okay, program.email. Okay. Yes, let me download it right away and then you can present. Please let me know whether you can see my screen and you can hear me. To be sure you can hear me. If you can hear me, please write yes. We are moving gradually to the end of presentation. Great. Okay. Can you see my screen? If yes, write yes. If no, say we are waiting. Okay. Now let me do a new screen sharing. 1 minute. I got it down. Okay, so I will share my screen for him, and then we are going to go. Great. Okay, I thought you have it right now. Do share. Say, can we see my screen? Should I make it full screen? Okay, so you can. Thanks for the feedback. Yes, that is. So now, like I mentioned earlier, we couldn't take everybody. So I thought about to you, the first one.
Thank you very much, Mr. Evans. Out of a whole lot of feedbacks we got, we actually selected about 15. I will start with Osabuohien. It was a great opportunity to be part of ASMN 3.0. I gained new insight into grant writing and publishing. Apart from not publishing in pediatric journals, there were certain things I wasn't aware of in publishing. I always look forward to publishing in Scopus and Schimago index journals, but I discovered that there are other outlets to look out for, probably better than what I am exposed to. Thank you for that, Osabuohien from Ekiti State University. And also, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I'm grateful. I look forward to more exciting learning platforms. Maybe in the future, DIaDeRC should consider training scholars in data analysis and other stuff related to this. But for now, you are doing great. Thank you. Zacchaeus Olani Oluwafemi from Oyo State College of Agriculture and Technology, Igbora, Nigeria. Learning is the engine room for scholars' advancement in global research, and nobody can be supersaturated of learning. However, the higher your propensity to new knowledge and skills, the higher your relevance in body of knowledge frontier. Let there be a workshop training on key research skills that can enhance global collaboration. That's from Zacchaeus Olani Uluwafemi from Oyo State College of Agriculture. Bondo Chisanga from University of Lusaka, Zambia said, communication and collaboration in grant writing is very important and a key to success. That's from Bondo Chisanga from University of Lusaka, Zambia. If there's an award for feedback, Samuel Musungwini from Midland State University, Gweru, Zimbabwe, who actually claimed that award. He gave me a whole lot.
Yeah, I think we can give him awards. I think I can give him a free. You know, I can pay for his episode records. I can pay for his free. I can give him scholarship to become a free a SME premium member. Samuel, thanks a lot for on this call, and I want to personally give you that awards to pay for your subscription for our SME remember, because he wrote almost like a paragraph. Paragraphs like a thesis.
Pages.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. Samuel Musungwini from Midland State University, Gweru, Zimbabwe said, the ASMN bootcamp provided me with a truly transformative learning experience, equipping me with hands-on result-driven strategies for navigating the complex landscape of grant funding and implementation. The sessions on grant writing and execution were eye-opening, offering tangible insights that I know will be invaluable as I pursue new funding opportunities for projects in my research domain. The next page says, this was undoubtedly the most outstanding learning experience I have had, and I'm already eagerly anticipating how I can apply these lessons to achieve new heights of success. As a participant in the impactful ASMN 3.0 conference, I was deeply inspired by the wealth of knowledge and practical insights shared. Thank you very much, Samuel Musungweni of Midland State University, Gweru, Zimbabwe. He actually gave us a lot, and on our website, we will be curating a whole lot more from his feedback to actually push out for others to see. Professor Michael Nyong from University of Calabar, Cross River State, Nigeria, said, I am more exposed to publishing in global and reputable journals and in collaboration and partnership building drive. Thank you very much, Prof. It's nice having you again. Olumide Leg from Chrisland University, Abeokuta, Ogun State, Nigeria said, my most useful lesson was on the essence of collaboration and how as Africans, we need a more collaborative mindset over a competitive one. Thank you very much, Olumide. And from Isaac Joshua, International Republican Institute, he said, I learned useful tips to avoid when writing a grant proposal. As such, I am now aware of areas I need to focus more on and those mistakes to avoid. Thank you for your feedback, Joshua Isaac. And from Kogi State Judiciary, we have Oneku Odiba. ASMN 3.0 episodes are loaded with value and unassumingly so. I have been so much impacted, and I am surprised that all this came at no price. Thank you, DIaDeRC and the organizing board. I will still be on this platform for a long time because it is a place to learn and collaborate. Thank you, Oneku Odiba. And Paul Maina, Moi University, Kenya. The whole session was full of valuable lessons and definitely has improved my knowledge and skills on grant writing. That's from Paul Maina, Moi University, Kenya. Ayele Deseleng from Harare, Ethiopia. I have gained more knowledge and experience about writing and winning grants and how to remain motivated to write and win research and academic grants. That's from Ayele from Harare, Ethiopia. From Juan Ozo, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. She said, I now understand that determination is the key. No matter how long it takes, just be determined that you will make it. Even when your grant is rejected, continue pushing until you get it approved. Yeah, that's the spirit. Thanks, Joanne, for the feedback. And Tony Itemba from BBC Media Action in Tanzania. One needs to try tirelessly and be persistent in seeking for grants, as when Jesus answered one asked to forgive his brother 7 times 70. And grant writing is both an art as it can be learned, but also a science as there are specific rules and procedure to follow. Thank you, Anthony. And we have here from Ndubisi Njoko, a PhD student of economics, Michael Okpara, University of Agriculture, Umudike, Abia State. The issue of publishing in high impact journals and writing of a winning grant with community impact in mind are striking issues for me. Thank you, Ndubisi. And Emeka Eze from Michael Okpara, University of Agriculture, Umudike. I learned about the different types of proposal calls, how to write a good proposal, including areas of focus during the proposal writing stage, how to conceptualize and adopt a theory of change, including common mistakes to avoid while writing a proposal. That's from Emeka Eze, Michael Okpara, University of Agriculture. And last but not the least, Solomon Kolka from Sierra Leone. The most exciting learning experience for me during ASMN 3.0 is episode 2, where I was taught on the actual process of grant proposal writing. The episode gave an in-depth outline of the grant proposal writing methodology, intervention, and theory of change. It also shows an explicit way of writing research questions. That's from Solomon Kolka, Sierra Leone. And this is an appeal to all our participants. Do well to send us a mini video of your experiences at ASMN 3.0. All video files should be sent to programs.diaDeRC@gmail.com. This is to help us improve on subsequent series and share in your success stories. Thank you very much for being part of ASMN 3.0.
Thanks a lot. Once again, time is almost up, but you agree with me that it's been a wonderful time out here. We're going to take the last one. Like I said earlier, we have tons and tons of testimonials. We couldn't take all of them. So please, we'll be publishing the comprehensive one on our website. And keep them coming. In case you have not done any exercises, we will add it. Exercise 1, 2, 3, 4. You can add it to the comment there. And you can also send us your comments. I'll reach out to you if you have any further questions to clarify. That's a lot. So we take the last one, which is a certificate presentation. I take the right way. Just in 2 minutes will be done. I know it's almost time. Thanks so much for your time. It's been a wonderful session with all of you. And thanks to our participants. Thanks to our guest facilitator for today, who has treated us to a very wonderful session. If we had left him, he would have kept talking, but we had to pause him. That's a lot. And in case you have other things you want to share as quick one, just put on the comments. We'll just take it right away. We're about to close now. But you have other things that are burning. Since today is the last day, we try and take them as quickly as we can. So you can put on the charts. And the ones we can answer now, of course, we have our platform, ASMN Premier platform, 3.0 platform, and we'll be glad to reach out to you accordingly. So now I will be calling it, and Mother Happiness will be calling names. I want to also appreciate Mother Happiness. She was the one behind this certificate we are presenting now. So, and like I said, I know more will come later, but these are the ones that have made the criteria as at this time of compilation. Those who have done the exercises 1, 2, 3, 4, and have subscribed to our ASMN Premium. In case you did it after the compilation, apologies. And in case you are still interested to subscribe and to get it done, we will give you between now and end of June. So you see, end of June to tell your assignment, your exercises. I know some are done 1, 2, 3, but not all of them. So between now and next Sunday, June 30, try and tidy up by 1st of July, we enter a new phase. So please, and then also the call for ASMN Premium for this first phase, we end by that date. So we have this 1 week to get that done. So these are the ones who met up the requirements. I want to quickly call on Madam Happiness, as she calls out the name. Madam Happiness, what do you take number 1? And as we hear the names, please let's clap for them.
Oh, so the first person is Dasauke Musa. Congratulations. Okay, thank you so much for your dedication to completing the series. And the next person is Adesoji Faraibu. Let's clap for him. Now the next person is Nkirika Okonkwo. Let's clap for her. Yeah. And the next person is Oluwayemisi Adeleke. Let's clap for her. The next person is Gabriel Osabuohien. Let's clap for him too. And then we have Omowumi Ido. Let's clap for her. Okay, then we have Neku Odiba. Thank you so much. Okay, and then we have Rachel Oduyemi. Let's clap for her. Then we also have Ajala Adedolapo. Let's clap for her, please. Okay, and then we have Emeka Eze. Let's clap for him, please. Okay, and then we also have Igaru Amici. Let's clap for him, please. Okay, we have Abiola Olamiri. Let's clap for her, please.
And that is the end. Okay. All right. These all have been announced. We will send to your email, and then we share details on how you could maximize that. Share it on LinkedIn, share it on and the hashtag to use, and also you tag DIaDeRC in all of your postings, so we can be part of your joy. You can also share the goodness with you. Just like I said, those who are yet to complete their own exercises, we have between now and end of June to get it tidy up. And those who are committed but yet to subscribe to our SME Premiumship, please, we have between now and end of June to get it done. Once again, thanks a lot. I think that is all we have for now. If there are no burning issues, you agree with me that it's been a wonderful session. And like I mentioned earlier, we need to subscribe to our channel, as I just shared the last segment on the conclusion. We're about to conclude now. Sorry, we're taking extra time today because we had a lot to chew. And thanks to my brother Afolabi. I want to make sure that all of these participants, they are giving us their time, intellectual capacity, just to show how much they appreciate what we are doing and how much they contribute to Africa's scholarship. Once again, thanks a lot. Okay, by way of conclusion, is that just go to diadeRC.org and then check our social media handles, and then join our on the platform, collaborate. Like I said, once every week you should be checking that something was got of us, either it's an information as a resource, and they're very rich. Okay, remember what we said earlier, don't close your own door when expecting open doors. So in summary, keep the fire burning. Only check our websites, check our updates on social media handles, and check our respective platforms. Then put to work what you have learned. In case you have any question afterwards, you can reach out to us on WhatsApp, and also our email address is there. And God bless you. Once again, thanks a lot. It's difficult to say bye, but we have to say so that we can go. Remember our next event that will be holding on the June 15th. We'll send details shortly. I will post now. Team, let's check whether comments. Okay, quick one. We're about to go. Yes.
From Bukumi Agbola, she said, I have completed my exercise, but my name is not among those awarded certificates.
Okay. There I can answer that quickly. Maybe if you have completed all of them and you have subscribed to premium membership, you should be given. We will cross-check. Same with Ayotunde. let me stop sharing now and then stop streaming and then stop recording. This is a family meeting.
Okay.
Stop recording.